Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
We shall start at 3, sir.
Okay.
Okay. So I think it's time to start. A small request to all the participants who have joined us. Just, keep your camera on, because in between we are taking screenshots for submitting to ICSSR, and that will encourage us to keep the interaction live. That will encourage our esteemed resource person to discuss all the relevant issues of today's topic. So with this small request, let us begin with our pre-seminar workshop. Good afternoon to distinguished resource person. Please mute.
Are you talking to me?
No, sir. I have started now. Good afternoon to distinguished resource person, Professor Suresh Kulkarni, sir, renowned GST subject expert and former Vice Chancellor, Sardar Patel University, esteemed academicians, faculty members, research scholars, students, professionals, and dear participants joining us from different parts of the country. On behalf of the Postgraduate Department of Business Studies, Sardar Patel University, Vidyanagar, Anand, Gujarat, and the entire organizing team, I, Professor Kamini Shah, seminar convener, extend a very warm welcome to each one of you to this pre-seminar online workshop on how to write a research paper on GST and public policy. This workshop is being organized as a precursor to our ICSSR sponsored National Seminar on GST reforms and their socio-economic impact, implications for shaping India's economic and social landscape, scheduled to be held on 16th and 17th July 2026. I am delighted to witness such enthusiastic participation this afternoon. The overwhelming response we have received from each one of you reflects the growing academic interest in GST and its multifaceted impact on India's economic and social development. Impressive number of registrations and participants present today is a testimony to the relevance and importance of this field. Before we proceed further, I would like to acknowledge and sincerely thank all participants who have joined us from various universities, colleges, and institutions across the country. Many of you are preparing research papers for presentation at the forthcoming national seminar, and your presence here demonstrates a commendable commitment to academic excellence and scholarly inquiry. The introduction of GST has been one of the most significant economic reforms in contemporary India. Beyond its role as a tax reform, GST has influenced governance, public finance, business practices, consumer behavior, and socio-economic development. As researchers and scholars, it is important that we critically examine these dimensions and contribute meaningful, evidence-based research that can enrich public policy discourse. With this objective, today's workshop has been carefully designed to provide practical guidance on research paper writing, particularly in the context of GST and public policy. We hope that the insights gained today will assist participants in preparing papers worthy of presentation at the national seminar and, where appropriate, considerations for honorarium and possible publication through the ICSSR sponsored institution. We are indeed privileged to have with us an eminent academician, distinguished researcher, and former Vice Chancellor of Satar Patel University, Mr. Girish Kulkarni, as the resource person for today's workshop. His vast academic experience and expertise will undoubtedly provide valuable direction and inspiration to all participants. I would also like to place on record our sincere gratitude to the ICSSR, Indian Council of Social Science Research in New Delhi, for supporting this important academic initiative. I encourage all participants to actively engage in today's session, interact with the resource person, and make the best use of this opportunity to strengthen their research and academic writing skills. Once again, I extend a cordial welcome to each one of you and thank you for joining us this afternoon. With these words, I now invite Professor Yagnesh Dalwadi, Seminar Director, Head and Dean, Faculty of Business Studies, Sardar Patel University, to deliver the welcome address and set the context for today's workshop. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Hamisha madam. Kulkarni साहब आपनो माइक थोड़ा बंद कर सकते हैं. Thank you, sir. Respected Shirish Kulkarni sir, renowned academician and subject expert, and I have learned a lot from him. We have GST seminars prior to this also. So Kulkarni sahib was one of the experts in our seminar, and since he was our Vice Chancellor, so through him practically also we learned. So at this juncture, I welcome you, Shirish sir, on this this online workshop. I also recognize the presence and the work of Kamini Shah madam, my dear colleagues at the Department of Business Studies, faculty across India, and dear research scholar. I'm very happy that this such pre-seminar online workshop is arranged by our department. The topic is very known: how to write research, how to write and present the high quality research paper on GST. Since we have organized a seminar on 16th and 17th July, for that we need to write a research paper. And as this GST is not in a mainstream, all the teachers who are teaching in a college or universities are not teaching directly the goods and services tax. And for that, some pump up or some knowledge is required to how to write research paper. So this online pre-seminar workshop, I welcome you all. In this workshop, sir is going to take an 30 to 40 minutes for his presentation. He will highlight the identification of research gap, how to write a research paper, what are the topics that are available, which methodology we need to use, how to analyze the data in a brief, and effective research paper presentation. He is going to cover all these points, and it will be followed by questions and answers. So if you have question and answer, you can write it down in a chat box or unmute at the end as and when resource person ask about, right? So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Over to Kamini madam.
We have already crossed in this Google Meet 100 participants, and that's why now we have made it YouTube live also. So those who have already joined, kindly inform your fellow colleagues, other participants, students to join through YouTube link. And now I request my colleague, Professor Suresh Machar sir, to formally introduce our today's resource person.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you very much, Professor Kamini madam. It is my privilege and honor to introduce our resource person for today's workshop, Professor Shirish Kulkarni sir. Professor Shirish Kulkarni sir is an eminent academician, researcher, and higher education administrator with over 35 years of distinguished experience in teaching, research, and academic leadership. Sir previously served as a professor and head Finance and Account Department in the Faculty of Commerce, MS University, Baroda. Sir has also served as Vice Chancellor of Sardar Patel University. A highly accomplished scholar, Kulkarni sir hold a PhD in Commerce from Sardar Patel University. Sir's academic journey reflects a real blend of expertise in commerce, accountancy, taxation, education, and law. Professor Kulkarni sir has authored several books, including Urban Cooperative Banks, Costs and Management of Deposits, and sir has also edited important volumes on higher education and financial reporting. Sir has published many research papers in very well-known and renowned national and international journals, and sir has also successfully guided 9 PhD scholars. Kulkarni sir has made significant contributions to educational governance and policies. Sir has also served as syndicate members at MS Universities of Baroda. Sir has also participated in the Government of Gujarat Experts Committees for Curriculum Reforms. Sir has contributed a lot to the introductions of choice-based credit systems in the higher education. Sir has also served on numerous academic planning and monitoring committees of universities and educational bodies. Professor Kulkarni sir has delivered so many lectures and expert sessions, and also conducting the training programs across Gujarat. Sir has also conducted professional trainings for major public sectors organizations in the areas of taxation, finance, and accounting. Sir has expertise spans on accounting, finance, taxation, public policies, and higher education and administration. Today, we are very fortunate to have a scholars and administrators of such a rich experience to guide us on today's themes, how to write a research papers on GST. I am very confident that sir's insights will greatly enrich our understandings and inspires meaningful research in this important area. On the behalf of the organization and all participants, I extend a very warm welcome to Professor Shirish Kulkarni, sir, and invite him to share his valuable thoughts with us. Welcome, sir. Over to you, sir.
Sir, I'll stop sharing my screen so that you can start sharing your screen, sir.
My screen is already there. All
Now,
right.
Now you will be able to share your screen, sir. I have stopped sharing.
I have already shared the screen. Is it there?
No, that's not.
No, it is there.
Share share it again, sir. Because it was here I shared the screen.
Is it okay?
No, sir.
Mm. Is it there?
No, sir.
No, but I am looking at my photograph in the screen.
Presentation.
Share entire presentation.
Huh?
Click on that presentation, sir.
No, presentation is not there. I will be speaking only.
Okay, then you are not sharing screen. Okay,
No,
okay,
no
no
screen.
problem.
No screen is there. No
Okay,
screen is
sir.
there.
Okay,
I will speak only. Presentation is not there.
okay, fine, sir. Thank you, sir.
All
Over
right.
to you, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. So I have heard the words about me. I think this knowledge of my expertise, competence, as has been said by Suresh Machar, Kamini Ben, and Yagnesh Bhai Dalwadi, it is pressurizing me that what to share and what not to share. I think that is what is an indication from your explanation about me. Anyway, forget that. Let us go for the topic directly. See, one thing I'm trying to make you understand that whatever I'm going to speak is related to your research paper to be submitted into the conference. Obviously, your papers will not be copy of each other. It will be definitely different. So when these research papers are different for each, it will not be copy of it, then you will have to understand the bottom of the subject so that how can you add, how you can delete the things which I am speaking. So that is possible only if you will hear, listen, all the things. I begin with the backdrop of the GST. The backdrop of GST is there is a Constitution Schedule 7 in which the direct and indirect taxes authorization to the state and central government has been given. In Schedule 7, there are three lists. List 1 is a union list, second is a state list, and the third one is a concurrent list. We are not bothering about the concurrent list. We will only talk on the first and the second list. Particularly direct taxes, we are not going to talk on. So I will not go for that list 1 or list 2 in which the direct taxes are there. So I will talking only on indirect taxes. So in the union list, that is a list 1, there is a custom duty, excise duty, service tax, etc. And then coming to the state list, I'm talking a backdrop that is before GST. So there is a value added tax, state excise duty, and then entry tax, etc. was there. But if you will look at the authority of state government and authority of a central government is separated. Not only by this list, the list is saying that these are the taxes one can levy. But if we take central government, we are talking on goods. If the goods are manufactured and then the manufacturer sells it, it is delivered from his factory. So till that time on the goods, central government can levy the taxes, not after that. So central government has the authority to levy indirect tax only up to manufacture, and from manufacturer to selling that from his factory. That's all. So that is the authority of the central government. Then comes the state government. After getting that manufactured goods, there will be sale, resale, again packed, again manufactured, whatever it is, number of times it is being transacted. That all only the state government can levy the taxes on that. So this was a limitation of the central and the state government. So this was a federal structure of a constitution of India. In that, these are the limitations of the state and the central government. And when we are talking on the GST, GST is considered as an one nation, one tax. Means there will be a merger of the authorities of state and central government. And one can understand it was very difficult. Earlier, in UPA government, P. Chidambaram tried for it. Then the NDA government, Arun Jaitley ji tried for it, and Arun Jaitley ji was successful. And then GST was levied. See, GST is levied on 1st July 2017. But again, there was a difficulty that the moment in Parliament, when the Act has been passed, that Act will be taken up in the State Legislative Assembly. Unless and until State Legislative Assembly passes it, the GST in that state cannot be levied. So to levy the GST after central government, state government has to pass the law. So whenever there will be a state legislative assembly passes it, then it will be called as State GST Act. And you know that our federal structure is there. So different state governments have passed it at a different timing, different months, different years also. So that's all the federal structure one can understand. So this is what 17 taxes. It's a bundle, group of taxes of central and the state government taxes. They are merged. They are subsumed in the goods and services tax. It's a dual model. When I'm saying it's a dual model, it is a state GST as well as central GST. So whenever the GST is levied, it will be levied like CGST and then SGST. So whenever, let's assume that there is 18% as a rate of GST. So 9% will go to the central government and 9% will come to the state government. So like that, it's a dual model, dual GST. So what was before GST? Before GST, there was a central excise duty plus state government's value added tax. If you understand value added tax, you will understand easily the GST. Central excise duty has been subsumed in the GST. VAT of the state has also been subsumed in the GST. Why I'm specially highlighting VAT? Because it's a value added tax. Sales tax is a different story and value added tax is a different story. When sales tax is there, when the ownership of the goods are transferred, at that time the sales tax was levied. Then if the goods are sold from one state to another state, then there was a central sales tax. When there is a central sales tax was levied before this GST, it was a double taxation, tax on a tax, or on the one goods, several times the taxes were levied. So avoid that double taxation or tax on a tax has been withdrawn by the GST. Mind it, whenever we are looking at the people's comments are because of GST, there is an inflation. See, whenever you are writing the paper, you will understand that there is an inflation due to GST when it has been stated. You will have to understand why it is not possible. GST has reduced the inflation in case of taxation, indirect taxation. Why I am saying? Let's assume that you are buying a goods of rupees 100. GST is levied rupees 10. So buyer gets the goods for 110 rupees. That 10 rupees is a GST. Buyer will make the payment to the supplier. Now again, try to understand. I will be using the words onwards, not the buyer, not the seller. I will be using the words, one is a supplier who is selling the goods, and who is a buyer, I will be speaking recipient of the goods. So recipient of the goods will make payment of GST of rupees 10 to the supplier. The moment he makes the payment, supplier has to pay it to the government. Only for that, the recipient will get the credit of rupees 10 on purchase he paid, he get the credit. જેને ઘણી વખત આપણે વેરા શાક કહીએ છીએ. એ વેરા શાક ત્યારે જ મળે જ્યારે વેરો સરકારને ચૂકવાયેલો હોય. यानी बकाया है तो नहीं मिलेगा, आपने दिया है तो ही क्रेडिट मिलेगी. तो इस क्रेडिट की वजह से जो रेसिपिएंट को क्रेडिट मिला है उसका उसे उपयोग होता है. क्या उपयोग होगा? वो जब वही वस्तुओं को, वही गुड्स को आगे जाकर बेचता है, मान लीजिए 150 रुपए में उसने बेचा, वो 150 रुपए में जब बेचेगा तब 150 रुपए के ऊपर भी फिर से 10% टैक्स लगेगा. तो वो टैक्स होगा 15 रुपए. उसको क्रेडिट मिली है उन्हीं वस्तुओं पर 10 रुपए की, तो सरकार को देते वक्त वो 15 रुपए में से 10 रुपया बात करेगा, और उस 10 रुपया बात करने से उसे सिर्फ 5 रुपया सरकार को देना पड़ेगा. यानी यह जो 5 रुपया है, यह 5 रुपया एक प्रकार से टैक्स कम हुआ, यानी वस्तु की कीमतों में कमी आई, ऐसा होगा. यानी महंगाई बढ़ेगी नहीं. एक बात बताऊं, मिस्टर विजय केलकर has given the first time the thought about the GST, that GST to be implemented. At that time, he has stated that there should be only one rate of tax, and that is 12% only. So, unique rate, that is 12%. But looking at the economical situations of the people in India, the rate has been different. 0%, 5%, 12%, 18%, and then it is 28%. So this was the case. So poor people can purchase the goods for lower prices. That was the purpose. So this is how the GST has been implemented on 1st July 2017. Now I am coming to your important aspect, is that what should be written in the research paper? What should be there in the research papers? what are that points? Because if I will go on speaking on GST, there will not be any end of it. So let us concentrate only on what you should write. See, background which I have given, you can pick up the background and you can attach in your paper wherever you feel it is appropriate. क्योंकि सारा का सारा तो आपको आवश्यकता नहीं पड़ेगी, लेकिन जिस चीज को मैंने अभी तक कहा है वह चीजें जहां आपको लगती है वहां पर आप उसे जोड़ सकते हैं, क्योंकि मैंने यह एक प्रकार से आपको इंट्रोडक्शन दिया जीएसटी का। अब हम आते हैं आपके रिसर्च पेपर में क्या क्या दिया जा सकता है, क्या क्या हो सकता है। मैं रिसर्च पेपर के बारे में एक और चीज आपको बता देता हूं। देखिए, हम लोग तो विद्यार्थी या टीचर है। कभी आपने सोचा होगा जिसने एलएलबी की, बीए एलएलबी, बीकॉम एलएलबी, बीएससी एलएलबी या इंजीनियरिंग के बाद एलएलबी किया होगा, उसके बाद में वो लॉयर बन गया, फिर वो जज बन गया, ऐसा भी होता है। कभी सोचा है कि वह इतनी सोच रख सकता है कि जो जजमेंट देता है जीएसटी के विषय में? देखिए, एक शब्द प्रयोग है गुड्स। एक गुड्स को अगर कहते हैं, वो कौन सा गुड्स है? प्लांट एंड मशीनरी। जीएसटी के लॉ में जब लिखा गया था तो वो लिखा गया था प्लांट और मशीनरी। एक व्यापारी ने यानी सप्लायर ने उसका लाभ लिया और उसने सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक पहुंचा। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा भाई यह रेसिपिएंट की बात सही है, इसलिए उसको इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट मिलेगी। यानी फिर तुरंत 54वीं जो जीएसटी काउंसिल की मीटिंग हुई, उन्होंने तुरंत वह शब्द हटा दिया और की जगह पे एंड कर दिया। देखिए हुआ है क्या नहीं रिसर्च? यानी प्लांट एंड मशीनरी कर दिया, पहले प्लांट और मशीनरी था, तो इसकी शोध किसकी हुई? इतने सारे जीएसटी का लॉ बनाने वाले लोगों ने ये ध्यान में नहीं लिया, लेकिन यह है रिसर्च जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जज ने किया और जजमेंट भी दे दिया। तो यह हमें करना है। शायद अब मैंने जो कहा उससे आपको एक बात तो पता चली होगी कि मैंने वेरा शाख यानी इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट, वो कौन सी? मैंने जो आपको उदाहरण दिया था कि भाई 10 रुपए का जीएसटी सप्लायर को दिया, उसकी क्रेडिट रेसिपिएंट को मिली। मैं उस 10 रुपए की बात कर रहा हूं जो है इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट। अगर आप इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट में रिसर्च पेपर लिखेंगे तो शायद आपको पूरा बुक भी कम पड़ेगा, 500 पेजेस का बुक भी कम पड़ेगा। इतना रिसर्च पेपर लिखने के लिए उसके पास मसाला है। यानी अगर ज्यादा से ज्यादा पेपर अगर आप इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट पर लिखते हो तो बढ़िया है। मैं ऐसा क्यों कह रहा हूं? क्योंकि जब इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट आप कहते हैं तो किन किन चीजों पर इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट मिल सकती है और किन किन व्यवहारों में आपको इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट नहीं मिलेगी। આ જો બંને વાતોને તમે જુદી રીતે તારશો ને તો તમને ધ્યાનમાં આવશે। અંગ્રેજીમાં એને બ્લોક્ડ ક્રેડિટ કહેવાય કે ભાઈ ક્રેડિટ તમને નહીં મળે। ક્રેડિટ ન મળવાનું કારણ પણ આપેલું છે કે ભાઈ આ પ્રકારનું હોય તો તમને ક્રેડિટ નહીં મળે। દાખલા તરીકે હમણાં જ મેં તમને જે કીધું ને પ્લાન્ટ એન્ડ મશીનરી, તમે કદાચ જાણતા હશો વર્ક કોન્ટ્રાક્ટ નામનો હજી એક વિષય છે। In works contract also you can write so many papers, and in that works contract the input tax credit has been blocked. It is not allowed. So when I'm using the input tax rate, you should write the paper on that. You will have to see that why the credit has been blocked. Under section 17 subsection 5, right? These are the sections. You may not need it. You may go directly for the matter. But sections are there and you can read it if you at all having the time to read. It is a bare act, you can read. So input tax credit which is available and the credit which is blocked. I think you can go for one more aspect of the GST. You have up till now seen there was sales tax, there was value added tax, there is a excise duty, there is a custom duty, but custom duty is not the part of GST. Keep in the mind, the GST do not subsume the custom duty. It is only for the central government to collect. What is the reason for collecting the tax? What is the reason? Incidence of tax, taxable event. In sales tax, the taxable event is when the ownership of the goods have been transferred. That is the reason. Whenever the value added tax is charged, there is a value added, and that's why on value added the tax is charged. So these are the reasons. Even custom duty, when the goods are crossing the borders of the nation, the custom duty is charged. So similarly, what about these all taxes have been subsumed in one, and these are having a different reasons, incidence of taxes? Then what is the incidence of tax in the GST? And that is word supply. So in supply, these all incidences of taxes are coming under one word, and that is the supply. So this particular aspect of supply can be your research paper. What is supply? What is not the supply? I just give you a joke example on supply. Let's say one person is buying the chocolates to sell them, but he is fond of chocolate. उसने चॉकलेट खरीदे बेचने के लिए, लेकिन उसको बहुत अच्छे भाते हैं, इसलिए डिब्बे में से निकाले और अपना खाना शुरू कर दिया. अब 2 4 5 चॉकलेट खा लिए तो फिर जीएसटी का क्या होगा? वो खा गए चॉकलेट, उस पर जीएसटी लगेगी क्या? हाँ, लगेगी. कैसे? तो जब उसने खरीदा था तब उसने जीएसटी दे दी सप्लायर को, उसको इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट ले ली गई, लेकिन वो इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट का उपयोग कब होगा? जब बेचोगे तब. अब तो बेचा ही नहीं, खा गए हो, तो फिर इनपुट टैक्स क्रेडिट जितना टैक्स आपको सरकार को वापिस देना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि आपने फर्दरेंस ऑफ द बिजनेस नहीं किया, चॉकलेट को आगे बेचा नहीं, इसके लिए यह नहीं चलेगा. इसीलिए सप्लाई जब हम कहते हैं तो सप्लाई के मतलब क्या है, मायने क्या है, वह आपको बताना पड़ेगा. और एक बात मैं इसमें बताता हूं, भाई इस व्यवहार को सप्लाई ही नहीं गिनना है. सप्लाई है, दिया गया, क्योंकि देखिए इसमें सर्विस भी है. सेवा क्षेत्र 1994 से टैक्स में आया. अगर सेवा है तो एडवोकेट है, इंडिविजुअल एडवोकेट, वो किसी असील को सेवा दे रहा है तो वो फी तो लेगा, लेकिन वो फी रिवर्स चार्ज मैकेनिज्म पर जाएगा. लेकिन क्या वकील जीएसटी सरकार को देगा क्या? वो सप्लाई ही नहीं गिना जाएगा. जज ने जजमेंट दिया, उसने भी सेवा दी, लेकिन उसके ऊपर भी कोई जीएसटी नहीं लगेगी. इसलिए सप्लाई में 3 शेड्यूल और है, शेड्यूल 1, शेड्यूल 2 और शेड्यूल 3. इसमें से शेड्यूल 3 जो है वो सारी की सारी लिस्ट सप्लाई के बाहर चली जाती है. इसलिए जब भी आप सप्लाई पर लिखेंगे तो यह सारी बातें आपके सामने आएगी. तो क्यों भाई यह सप्लाई नहीं गिना जा रहा है? तो इस प्रकार से आप अपना रिसर्च पेपर इसमें लिख सकते हैं. आगे बढ़ते, रजिस्ट्रेशन. देखिए कौन जीएसटी दे सकता है और ले सकता है? द सप्लायर इफ ही इज रजिस्टर्ड अंडर द जीएसटी एक्ट. The supplier whose turnover in a year exceeds 40 lakhs. अगर वो अकेला सर्विस दे रहा है तो then it is only 20 lakhs. तो इस प्रकार से उसकी मर्यादाएं हैं. अब उसमें भी आप बहुत अंदर जा सकते हो, ये 40 lakhs में क्या क्या आएगा, 20 लाख में क्या क्या आएगा, और इसमें हर प्रदेश को यह नहीं है, कुछ ऐसे 6-7 जैसे पूर्वोत्तर भारत के हैं, अरुणाचल प्रदेश, मेघालय, मिजोरम, तो ऐसे देशों के लिए यह लिमिट अलग है। उत्तराखंड के लिए या हिमाचल प्रदेश के लिए इसकी लिमिट अलग है। तो इस प्रकार से आप अंदर जा सकते हैं कि भाई यह रजिस्ट्रेशन में टर्नओवर की लिमिट इतनी ऐसी क्यों है, क्या कारण है इसका। तो इस प्रकार से हम रजिस्ट्रेशन वाले विषय को ले सकते हैं, क्योंकि देयर इज अ थ्रेशोल्ड लिमिट विच इज टू बी फॉलोड। तो रजिस्ट्रेशन की बहुत तरीके बदल चुके हैं, ઘણા બધા વિષયોમાં રજીસ્ટ્રેશન આપતા જ નથી, અને બીજી બાજુ સરકાર શું કહે છે, એટલે આ એક વિષય છે કે રિસર્ચનો, કે ભાઈ તમે 3 દિવસમાં રજીસ્ટ્રેશન મળી જાય, જો નાનો વેપારી હોય તો એને વધારે તકલીફ ન પડે એના માટે. પણ ઘણી વખત એવું છે કે જે રજીસ્ટ્રેશન કરવા આવે છે ને એને તો ફેસિલિટેશન સેન્ટર પર જવું પડે, ફોટો પડાવવો પડે, બધા ડોક્યુમેન્ટ વ્યક્તિગત લઈ જવું પડે. કેમ? because there are fake registrations. There are so many incidences that the fake registrations have taken place. A labor who is there in construction of the building, his PAN card, his Aadhaar, that been collected, and based on that the registration is being done, and based on that the fake registration, fake invoices are being issued, and based on that invoice there will be a input tax credit. Try to understand, in the registration also you will have to take registration of a different supplier. There is a composition scheme, and that composition scheme is there are a less rate of GST has to be paid, concessional rate. The supplier whose turnover in a year is less than 1.5 crores, he may go for composition scheme. So botheration of submission of the returns will be reduced. He has to submit only one return in the entire year, and that too at the end of the year. So one more thing I am trying to tell you, that you may write a paper on returns. See, in the returns there are several, they are called as an GSTR1, GSTR1A, 2B, 3B, etc. 4 up to 9A there are returns. So you can write on the returns also. Only one return is also enough to write a research paper. Let's say that GSTR1 and GSTR1A, only if that two things you take up, your research paper will be over. Because earlier there was only one. Who submits this return? Supplier. Supplier submits the return to the government, in which he writes that how much supply he has made. કેટલી વસ્તુ વેચી, કોને વેચી, કેટલી જીએસટી ભરી, એની બધી વિગત એને GSTR1 માં મૂકવાની હોય. અને પછી એ ઓટોમેટિકલી 2B માં જતી રહે છે. એટલે એને ખબર પડે કે ભાઈ આ
કદાચ સર ભૂલમાં એક્ઝિટ થઈ ગયા.
Let us wait for 2 minutes. I think by mistake. Meantime, you can keep posting your queries in the chat box so that we can take up at the end. The email ID is also written in the chat box for submitting your full paper. There was a query in the WhatsApp group of our registered participant that where to submit, and the email ID is written in the chat box. Actually, we have already 100 participants here, no? And now sir is in. Yes. Yes, sir. Uh, Unmute. Please unmute, sir.
I'm audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Somehow I was at the returns and I was trying to explain about GSTR 1. See, sometimes what happens? The recipient takes the credit, but there is some mistake in the invoice. And because of that, wrongly, the credit has been taken. And that credit wrongly taken is punishable to the recipient, not to the supplier. Let's take another example. That supplier do not make payment to the government, and then again recipient will have to return it back with interest. Why? It is his not fault. He is not at mistake, but still he has to pay interest and that input tax credit which he has taken. So there was a case. It has reached up to the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court has said, no, 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 no. You cannot charge the recipient. You will have to charge to the supplier. But then there was a changes has been made in the GST law, and it is said that the thing recipient should say yes, I accept this, or I do not accept it, or I keep it pending. So like that the facility has been made in the GST, so that now the recipient cannot say there is not my mistake. He should clearly mention that it is accepted, then the credit you will have to take. If that person is not making payment, you are at fault. And second thing has happened, that GSTR 1A has been introduced. GSTR 1A, whenever there is a mistake, supplier has made, or he has forgotten to enter it into the GSTR 1. So there is a facility for supplier to have one more 1A GSTR so that the recipient can get the credit. So this is what is the change has taken place. See, so returns you have lot of ideas for writing the research paper. 3B is such a return where you can write number of pages and it will be helpful to you in case of the return. Try to understand one more thing. Composition scheme, I already stated, that also is an area where you can be there. In GST, there is one more thing, that let's say sometimes the government is reducing the GST. You know, GST reforms 2.0. There are 230 items in which GST has been exempted. So there are exempted also. So exempted, zero rated GST, no supply, etc., etc. This also is a part of your one research paper. That what is the difference then? Zero rated, exempted, it is not supply. So these are the three things on which GST will not be there. So your research paper can be on there also. That what is it? That there is zero rated or no supply or exempted. So 232 items which are exempted in GST are, sorry, not GSTR, it is GST reforms. That is 2.0. So in that reforms, two things again has happened. One, there is no 12% rate of GST. So goods which were there in GST are rate of GST 12%, that goods have been shifted to either 5% or 0%. So 12% GST rate is not there now. One more thing has happened, and that is 28% GST rate has been abolished. So the goods of 28% either has gone to 40% or they had come to the 18%. So these changes have taken place. This is also the area that which are that items which are gone to exemption 5% or 40%. I'm telling you 40%. Let's take the car. Any luxury car. I'm saying luxury car. When there is a luxury car, then the 40% GST is to be paid. But the moment you say small car, then there is no 28%. It is just 18%. And if you go for electric car, then it is just 5%. So these are the differences in the rate of taxes, on which also you can write one more research paper that these are the rates, and because of that, how the person, consumer is benefited and how that benefit is getting because of GST 2.0. So this also is an area where you can write one more thing, that is anti-profiteering clause has been inserted, which I was trying to talk you, but somehow I am shifted to some other point. So anti-profiteering clause has been mentioned, which says that the moment rate of GST has been reduced. See, when the rate of GST has been reduced, then supplier has to make changes in charging the GST to his recipient. The moment he do not do that, any reduction in the rate of GST, if he do not reduce, then this will be called as an you are entering into the unlawful profit maker. And for that, the anti-profiteering clause has been added. So there also you have a place to write the research paper. One more thing. It is just recent has happened. And what is it? The tribunals have been now established after 10 years. There were no tribunals. The moment you have any complaint against the GST office, then you had the first place where to complain is a commissioner. If that is not there, then you will have to directly go to the High Court. So between GST and High Court, there was no step. Now there is a step and there is a tribunal, and you may approach to the tribunal, which is the part of GST officers, and they will listen to you, and if there is a wrong, then they will make it clear. If in tribunal also you are not satisfied, then you may go directly to the courts. So courts, you have got only two steps. There is no session court, there is no lower court, there is directly the High Court where you can go. And from High Court, there will be, you have to go for the Supreme Court. So there are so many cases which are pending, and tribunal will have to face these all aspects. So you have one more area that about tribunal you will have to study, and then you will have to write on that tribunal, that how tribunal works and what can more be changed in that. So that will become your research in the GST. Ultimately, these all things are related to public finance and how it will be benefited to the public. That is what is the government's role is. Government wants that there should be a social security and people should not deceived by the GST or supplier. Whenever there is a research paper you are writing, you have a very good place, and that is the fake invoices. The invoice itself is one area where you can write the research paper, because there are small persons. Let's say we have gone for composition scheme. That composition scheme cannot issue the taxable invoice, tax invoice. He can issue only bill of supply. When tax invoice is there, there is a space where the supplier, his name and address and registration number will be there. he will mention about HSN code, harmonized system of nomenclature, because every state has got a different name of that particular good. So there is only one code, and that number identifies that this is the thing. So HSN code is written, this central CGST and SGST is given. So that will be tax invoice. And if there is a composition levy, then there will be a only 1% tax the composition levy supplier has to pay to the government. But simultaneously, he cannot take the input tax credit. Let's say there are small amount of supply. Let's say 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 100 rupees, 200 rupees. So in a day, how many times that the tax invoice can be issued? So there is a facility given that for an entire day, how many is the small amount of supply has taken place, you can club it, and then you can prepare one single invoice in which you will mention about this all taxation part. Sometimes the suppliers, that whenever we are approaching the shop, he says that this is the cost, this is the price. We say why? Then immediately he will speak about GST, I have to make payment. Listen, every shopkeeper or every goods are not GST leviable. So that also you can write that which are that goods on which the GST is not there. Let's assume earlier there was a lot of confusions, and that confusions have been removed. I'm just giving you an example to have fun. Let's say you go to the movie, and movie at the interval, you go to the canteen, a corner where you take the samosa. Samosa is charged at 5%. But let's assume that you don't want to go out of the theater in the interval. You want to sit in the seat in the hall, but you want samosa. And that provision has been made in your movie ticket. Then you will get at your seat the samosa. But then that samosa will be at 12%. Earlier, not currently. But if the ticket of the movie price is rupees 100 only, then 12%. If the price of the movie ticket is more than 100, then that samosa on your seat will be attracted 18%. So this was a fun. Now that has been abolished. Now it is not there. It is 5% only, no more. Earlier there was a mistake for popcorns also. The plain popcorn, 5%. Salted popcorns, 12%. Sweet popcorns, 18%. So there were a lot of confusions in the minds of the consumer that what to do. So these confusions are being now cleared. So how many such confusion has been cleared? So how the consumer is at benefit? So that's how also you can write your research paper. One more thing for a caution I am telling you. I know that your research paper you can get from ChatGPT. You can get your research paper from Google Gemini, but that will not be valid. Try to understand. It is very clearly understood by those who are making the conference or seminar. See, whenever you are using the figures, data from such websites, then also it is not allowed. Whenever you are using the figures, data, which is in number, obviously GST will be on number. It will be numerical also. Whenever you are using the numbers, be careful that numbers cannot be from such type of websites. That there must be authentic. For example, Economic Survey of India, that is authentic figures which are given in the Economic Survey of India. You can have an RBI bulletin for getting some figures. For Gujarat, it is economic review of Gujarat. So that also is valid. So this type of figures which are authorized, newspaper figures, no, you cannot. So newspaper figures cannot be used in the research paper. So whenever you are writing the research paper, have an authentic, because there you will have to write the source of your figures. So be clear, your ChatGPT research paper and your Gemini Google will not be allowed. So don't do that, and be careful whenever you are writing the research paper. I am saying all the best to you, and get the research paper clearly and get the reward of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Now the floor is open for question answer session. There are some questions in the chat box, and
But I don't have that.
no problem, sir. We'll ask you. But if somebody would like to ask direct to sir, you can unmute and ask a question.
As earlier you have said, that we ask the question.
Yes.
We'll wait
Namaste,
for the
sir.
minute.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Sir, nice session delivered by you, sir. Many conceptual clarity have been made. Sir, I want to ask you that is there any research topic for GST accounting? Can we do in GST accounting, and how it can be
See,
done?
nowadays GST account on Tally, it is already available. GST accounting, yes, you can go for GST accounting also, because whenever you are writing that CGST, SGST separately, so in that also you can have an accounting. There is no issue. You can go for that, but it will require the numbers, and the numbers from where you will get. Or the GST accounting, if you say you will have to take particular supplier, and his accounting you can take, but he will not allow you to give his data for writing the research paper. So there are so many topics I have stated, but you have asked the question on accounting. Yes, you can, but that is related to a particular figures if you have. Any extended question? You have any idea?
No, sir. Thank you.
Sir, in the chat box, there is a question. How does I can narrow down a broad topic like GST and MSME into a specific researchable problem statement? So GST and MSME is very broad topic. So if we want to zero down to some research problem, what it should be? That is the question.
Whenever you are talking about MSME and you are attaching it to the GST, so you will have to take a particular MSME at large. You cannot take all MSMEs and GST. It's not possible, because supplier is one, recipient is one. So you cannot take all MSMEs at a time. And that MSME will not give you the figure that what was his purchases, what are his inputs. So there will not be possibility of going for input tax credit to write a research paper, MSME and GST simultaneously of all entire MSME. And again, that MSME are again different types of MSMEs. So I think a particular single MSME project you can take, and on that project you can definitely write a paper.
Then there is chocolates word has been written. Our Darshana madam has written this. Ma'am, you can unmute and ask a specific question.
Ma'am, actually, that was just for the talk I told about he had the chocolates and all. It was not a question.
Then there is a question here that how should people This, how should a researcher structure the literature review section for a policy-oriented GS or paper?
No, I have not got the question. Please repeat.
How the literature review section should be written in GST?
Wait. Again, you are going fast, and
Okay.
I'm not getting your question.
Sir, in the research paper, we write literature reviews.
Hmm.
How that literature review section should be written in the GST kind of paper?
See, for that literature review, already I have given you the backdrop of the GST. So literature review you can get from that also.
There are so many sources you have mentioned for the data. So from there, I think literature review is possible. Okay. Then there is a question.
Come in, एक minute.
Yes, sir.
हाँ, Kamini madam.
There is a question. How can we get information about fake registration list from cases? That is the question written by Durga ma'am. Durga ma'am, if you can unmute and clarify if there is some.
Let her get unmute.
Durga ma'am,
She would have left.
I think how can we get information about fake registration list?
See, it is always available on GST journals. That GST journals you can get, but then so many journals you will have to go through because it cannot be at one place. Or if it is Gujarat, then economic review of Gujarat you can get there. You will have all India level. It's rather difficult.
Then okay. There is a question. Deep Wagela has asked here that I am drafting a research paper on AI in GST, specifically regarding automated tax evasion detection. So, from a
Listen. In Gujarat itself,
yes, sir.
the government of Gujarat has implemented AI to detect this fake registration, fake invoices. They are going to use the AI techniques, AI model they have adopted, but still it is in infant place. It is not full-fledged going on. It is there.
There is another question. Can you please throw light on how can I write paper on tax fraud?
Tax
Fraud.
fraud.
Hmm.
So then again, these are all things are there. That fake invoice is a fraud. Whenever the registration is wrong, invoice is due to fraud. You know that there is a Rajesh export case is going on. There also the fraud is going on. So frauds are so many. If particular fraud you take, then only I can tell you that yes, this is fraud. You can narrate like this.
So on that case-based, narration is possible in the paper form.
Pardon?
I mean, for the like Rajesh Export read the news written here. So for that case study can be written, sir.
Definitely, why not? If it is related to GST and if it is in a public forum required, then yes, you can definitely go for a particular case.
There is
In Ahmedabad, Rajkot, there were frauds. One is from Rajkot, there is more than 200 crores fraud. In Ahmedabad also, there was 146 crores fraud. So you can definitely take the case of that. But what is your something you have found out? There is any research, anything you want to say on that, then it's okay. Otherwise, if you are narrating the story, then that cannot be a research paper. And mind it, again, how that fraud can be corrected or how you can present it. So that should not be there. How that fraud can be stopped. Yes, that you can do.
There is another question. Sir, I want to write paper on GST, automated scrutiny, and common red flags that business get.
Automated scrutiny and
Common red flags.
common
Red flags.
red flag.
Common red flags.
See, common red flags are already in the act, that what should be and what should not be, that I have already stated in so many things. So automated scrutiny is already in function. Automated scrutiny is already function like it is in the income tax also. That particularly sample basis they pick up. That automated scrutiny is sample they are taking and random sample. It's not that all. And again, there is a possibility when it is automatic scrutiny, they will see that it should be exceeding some amount. Then only they will take a scrutiny of that and they will take a cognizable offense. It is there. So automated scrutiny I can understand, but red flags I already stated to you many.
And I think there is a last question here. That, sir, can we write a paper on removal of various barriers in GST implementation and then suggestions can be given to government?
See, actually I was wanted to tell, but I tried and I have stopped it to say. That is, GST is still not matured. Because even if that law has been passed, so many times they are being amended. So it is not final today. There are 56 GST Council meeting yet to take place, and people are waiting that when it will take place, again it will go to the parliament and then act will change. So yet there is a time.
Okay, and there is one more question, sir. How can government effectively tax digital assets and decentralized finance ecosystem?
Digital assets, what do you mean by that?
Digital asset, all digital asset and decentralized finance ecosystem.
So see, whenever there is, see, UPI, it is a digital. Digital payments are also there, but there is a trail for that. Whenever you are using the digital, there is always a trail and which can way. So digital is always safe and their trails are there. If there is a cash transaction, then there is no trail to it, no track is there. So digital is okay. What was next one?
And decentralized, similar things, sir. Decentralized assets, decentralized finance, like this cryptocurrency, blockchain, and all that.
No, but see, whatever type of
The
digital
GST,
currency,
how can GST be levied? That is the, I believe, the question.
mind it. If it is like that, then keep this in the mind. It is supply of goods or supply of services. If any service is there, then yes, definitely there will be GST. For example, let's take the cash. If the cash is deposited into the bank or withdrawn from the bank, no GST is there. But the moment you are converting rupees into dollar, it's a service. And that service will be taxed under GST.
There is one more question, sir. I want to, somebody is asking, Srita is asking, I would like to write a paper on industry specific
Industry specific.
GST collection.
That's very good.
Where can I find the data?
See, then again you will have to reach to the what I have stated, Economic Survey of India, RBI bulletin. From there you can get the data.
No, sir. Actually, like, hello, am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
you
yes.
are audible, ma'am.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I was thinking of writing like, for example, textile industry, just textile industry, and specific to Gujarat, like how GST collection has improved, or like how it's moving forward, like free.
So for Gujarat, if you are speaking, I will
Huh.
tell you the economic review of Gujarat.
Okay.
That
Okay.
will give you the data.
Like that I can find online, or should I visit some
Online,
office?
yes, it is online is available, 100% available.
Okay.
Even
sir.
specifically, you can ask that economic review that can I get for textile only. So that also is possible.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
And there is a last question, I think. How ceramic industry develop invoice after implementation of GST?
Pardon, I'm not getting it.
GST implementation in ceramic industry.
So it is there because it comes under the goods. The moment it is goods, you will have to make the payment of GST. Ceramic industry is the tiles, you can say, or any other item for say ceramic. It is coming under the goods. So there is no exemption for the ceramic industry.
Okay, I think we end the question answer session. We have very good interaction, and now I request my colleague Professor Komal Mistry Madam to propose vote of thanks.
Thank you, Kamini Madam. Good afternoon, everyone. As we conclude this highly enriching pre-seminar online workshop, it is my privilege to propose vote of thanks on behalf of Postgraduate Department of Business Studies, Sardar Patel University. Firstly, I extend deepest gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Niranjan Patel, sir, for his visionary leadership, constant encouragement, and steadfast support in organizing this academic endeavor. We express our sincere thanks to our today's esteemed resource person, Professor Sirish Kulkarni, sir. Thank you for sharing your valuable time and your profound expertise with us. Your practical insight into identifying research gap for the titles like input tax credit, block credit, supply of goods, composition scheme, the GST return like 3B, the 2.0 GST reform like zero rated, no supply or exempted item. This all, even tax invoices, that is how to write a paper on that and present in a high quality manner on this GST seminar. We gratefully acknowledge the Indian Council of Social Science Research, ICSSR, for their generous sponsorship and support, which made this workshop in the upcoming national seminar also possible. A special word of thanks goes to the dedicated seminar director, Professor Yagnesh Dalwadi, sir, and seminar convener, Professor Kamini Shah, madam, for their meticulous planning, guidance, and untiring efforts in steering this event towards a success. We also owe a debt of gratitude to our energetic and hardworking team of research scholars of our Department of Business Studies. You are the back-end technical coordination due to your management and support that have ensured a smooth execution of this online workshop. Last but certainly not the least, I thank all the faculty members, participants like research scholars, students, and the professionals who have joined us today on online. Your active presence and enthusiasms are what make these sessions truly meaningful. Important and gentle reminder to all the participants, this workshop is just a prelude. Please mark your calendar for the ICSSR sponsored national seminar on GST reform and their social economic impact, implications for shaping India's economic and social landscape, which is due on 16th and 17th of July next month at Department of Business Studies. We look forward to seeing your high quality research papers presented there. And thank you once again, everyone. Have a wonderful evening ahead. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Over to you, Kamini Madam.
So once again, best wishes to each and every one of you for joining the session and submit your paper, participate in best paper track. And maybe I wish you all that you become eligible to get the honorarium. And there is a paper we want to recommend to ICSSR for publication. The papers will be published by ICSSR, and the peer review committee appointed for the review of the paper. So best wishes for writing the good paper on the theme or main theme or sub theme. So see you in person on 16th of July. Please fill the feedback form so that you get e-certificate for attending this particular workshop. And here I would like to specifically mention the efforts, untiring efforts put in by Sudeep Wagila, my full-time PhD scholar, for the all social media campaign, each and every work meticulously is executing and helping us all at the department, and all other scholars are also helping us. So keep it up. You are in the race of being a good academician. All the best, and see you in person on 16th July at the Department of Business Studies. So here we officially close this workshop. Thank you once again. Thank you, Suhas sir, for joining, Kautik bhai, Vishal sir, Hina madam. Thank you all.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
It was a wonderful session, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, sir. It was a wonderful session. Looking forward to hear you again in inaugural session. Thank you so much, sir. Can we leave now, ma'am?